I want to speak to Claudia and also then to Reverend Ramos again about religion, the importance of religion in the African American community and also in the Hispanic community in Amarillo. Claudia, can you speak to that? Now, we know that in the civil rights movement would not have happened if it weren't for the African American churches. But now, is it as important as the church as important as it was in the 60s?
I would say that the church is still an important mainstay in the black community. One of the things that was very evident in the 60s and earlier was that it was a pivotal point in the community because it was the biggest organized place where people met and people congregated and people fellowshipped. And our ministers were held in high esteem and respected, and they were professionals. They were the professionals in the community. Well, now, you know, we have many professionals in the community. We have a power source that's no longer just based in our religious community, but we have other areas as well. We have our fraternities, we have our organizations, we have the United Citizens Forum. We have so many other organizations with vested interest and vested power bases, and people that are also their followers. So you have the diffusion of power, whereas before it was always vested in one entity. But we still have spiritual leaders, but we have other leaders as well.
You know, I've heard it said that the most segregated place in America is Sunday mornings. Why is that?
The 11 o'clock hour, because you go to your church and I go to mine. And unless and until some of the religious leaders from the top start saying that we want diversity in our churches and start speaking that from the pulpit, are we going to be more inviting and more welcoming to others? We have our own congregations, we have our own conferences, we have our own districts, and other faiths have theirs as well. And when you go to your national meetings, you know, how many people of color do you find at some of the meetings that are represented by the clergy that are here? So unless and until, you know, people from the top start making those changes, we won't see those kinds of changes. But you have people who are in the communities. They want to go to their churches that they've always gone to because it's comfortable. They're familiar with the members. They fellowship with the people that they want to be around. So it's a question of choice. With integration, people became more mobile, moving in and out of communities, people moving into the African American communities. So you'll find that you'll have diversity, but it's going to take generations for that to happen.
Do you think it will happen?
Oh, absolutely. I think it will happen. You know, I'm an Army brat. One of the things that I noticed early on when moving to Amarillo, when I started affiliating with Johnson's Chapel African Methodist Episcopal Church, was I was always raised in a chapel, and we had, you know, a lot of diversity, you know, all the time, you know, being a Protestant. You know, so, I mean, as people explore, as people go into other subcultures based on their career paths and things of that sort, they'll move away. But for the most part, since it's choice, they'll want to go where Aunt Sally and grandmother went and everybody else. But that's a question of choice.